1.9 is just the exact same thing we just did, but we're working with subtraction now, okay? So nothing's too crazy. We've got to find the lowest common denominator. We have to find the equivalent rational numbers with the lowest common denominator. So that means once we find out what the LCD is, we got to multiply both the tops and the bottom, okay? That's what the important part is. And then all we're going to do is subtract the numerators, but we keep the denominator the same. And then like we did up on the board, if we need to reduce, meaning that both numbers on the top or the numerator and the denominator both share something that can be divided by, then we reduce to its lowest form, okay? So the first example here, we have the same denominator. So all we would do is subtract across the top. So -4 minus 1 would give us -5/7. All right. Now, the second one is a little bit different. What would be our lowest common denominator? Sorry? Well, we got to do something with a 2, but yeah. Yeah, we got to times something by 2. What are we going to have on the bottom of each of these? 10, right? So to get 10 from 5, we got to multiply by 2, right? And the other one, it's already 10, so we're just multiplying by 1. Does that make sense? We're clear there? So the lowest common denominator, or the LCD, is 10. So that might be a better way for some of you guys to just try to figure out what the lowest common denominator is first, like the thing that both denominators share multiples with, or can be multiplied to rather, and then you can just go from there. So in this case, -3 times 2 is -6/10. Subtract 9/10. So -6 minus 9 is going to be -15/10. And is there any number that we could divide both of those things by to reduce it? 5, exactly. So if we divided both by 5, we'd be left with what? If I divide 15 by 5, I get what? 3/2. Awesome. So -3/2. Perfect. All right. So once again, it says the note that we want to put the negative sign in front of the numerator. You guys should get that by now, but the first thing you'd want to do is put that negative sign right in front of the numerator. Okay. So in this case, we have -1/6 minus 3/-8. So all I'm going to do first is put those negative signs on the top number, or the numerator. And then what would be something we can multiply both 6 and 8 to? Any ideas? So no, because 3 times 6 would be 18, and 8 times 2 would be 16. But we're close. We're getting there. What if I multiplied 8 by 3? What would I get? Yeah. Can I get 24 from 6 by doing what? 4, right? So in this case, LCD is 24. I know it gets stressful sometimes, right? You got to think about, oh goodness, what does it work out to be? But trust me, the more you do it, you'll just start firing them off, right? It's like when you're in grade 3 or 4 and you do those like multiplication tables and you get so good at them, you can just fire them out and then you forget all about it because you start using a calculator. But same kind of deal. In this case, we've got lowest common denominators 24, which you guys, great job in deducting that. So if I'm going to make 6 into 24, I got to multiply it by 4. So whatever I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. And then same thing with The second one, if I want to make 24 out of 8, I multiply it by 3, and I do the exact same thing with the top. Is everyone following that right now? If you're not, feel free to ask, by all means, okay? So -1 times 4 is what? -4, and then our lowest common denominator is 24. And then we have -3 times 3, -9 over 24. And then if I did -4 subtract -9, we're actually adding, right? If you remember, we've got those two negatives. So in this case, it would be -4 plus 9 to give us the answer of 5 over 24. Cool? No, just remember when we deal with integers. So if we have like 1 subtract -2, what do we do again? So we have got those two negative, it becomes a positive basically. Well, it is timesing, so you're actually multiplying those two things. If we multiply two negatives, we get a positive. So the easiest way I find it is if you circle the two beside each other, if they're the same, it's going to be positive. If they're opposite, it's going to be subtract because I'm subtracting +2, okay? It's a little trick that we went over when we were dealing with integers before. Oh, that's it. Sick. Cool. All right, I'll let you guys work at that one.